Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of In the School Parking Lot. I'm your host. I'm Paul Everett. You can reach me at my email address, and I wish you would. It's BAND, the number 2 together, bandtogether, Comcast.net. Also, go to our website, which is conductingmylife.com, where you can get this book, conductingmylife.com. I have some in my garage. Just saying. Hey, we are talking about school issues. I started teaching high school in 1989. I resigned and retired early because I was told October 6th, 2021, that I am not to say I love you to my students anymore because love is an unprofessional word. And this is in California. This is in Roseville, California. And nor am I to use social media because what I write is triggering students and families, and they're very upset. So instead of backing down or fighting back, I just said, I'm going to walk away. I don't need $350,000. I don't need any sense of winning because I believe God's going to take care of all of this. I believe God has vengeance. I'm not in charge of that. And I do have a blog, and we talk about that. And I think I have no judgment on those who sue. Sue all you want. But I do all I can to avoid that because I don't think it's biblical. All right, that's my opinion. So then what I said is I'm going to find another place to go, and I'm working at a local charter school. I don't mention the school because I don't represent the school when I do this. However, I do know there's scholars that are now watching. That's cool. Thank you so much, scholars. I appreciate your support and your love. Very nice of you. Okay, we are working out this excellent book, Crimes of the Educators by Samuel Blumenfeld and Alex Newman. But before we get to that book, I always like to go to the what is happening. This is May 25th. Today is May 25th. This is episode 12. The story is Thursday, May 23. You can see the link. I have the link for you. It's from EdSource. California bill would ban schools from requiring teachers to identify transgender students. This is from Zaidee Stavely, Zaidee Stavely. California lawmakers introduced a bill Wednesday that would prohibit school districts from forcing teachers to notify parents if children ask to use different pronouns, names, bathrooms, or locker rooms at school. The bill was introduced by Assembly member Christopher Ward, Democrat, San Diego, and is backed by State Superintendent of Public Instruction, one Honorable Tony Thurmond. It would make California the first state to ban schools from requiring teachers to notify parents about their children's gender identity. 6 states have passed legislation requiring schools to do so, and 5 other states have promoted the practice. In California, several school boards have passed such policies in contending that parents have the right to know if their children are identifying as transgender. The state and advocates for the LGBTQ students say the policies are discriminatory and violate civil rights and privacy laws protecting transgender students. They also say such policies put some students at risk since not all families are supportive. California Attorney General Rob Bonta filed a lawsuit against Chino Valley Unified last year, alleging that its policy was discriminatory and violated civil rights and privacy laws protecting transgender students. A San Bernardino County Superior Court judge ruled in favor of the state in a preliminary hearing, which in turn prompted Chino Valley to revise its policy. When a teachers' union in Temecula Valley Unified also filed a lawsuit against a similar policy in that district, a Riverside County Superior Court judge allowed the policy to stand for now. Okay, and I have a link to that article in the description, and I think we should be aware of it. So you might ask where I stand, well, if you can't figure that out, I stand with parents. And I think more parents than not love their children and know their children better than we do as teachers, even as professionals. So I'm standing with the parents. To keep secrets from parents is ill. It's not right. So that's one of the reasons why I walked away from public education in California. I'm still here. If you want me to come out and help you and do stuff, there was a time when we could disagree, and agree on things. Like, let's agree on bringing people together that disagree. I have answers for that. I'm not the one that's saying, hey, you got to stop believing what you're doing. I'd rather just say, hey, let's get school choice to really happen. School choice for me is giving the parents money and then letting them spend the money the way they want to on schools, and they have to do all the paperwork for that and be held accountable and responsible. But to hide things from parents, from children, not getting it. Don't understand that. And again, I don't have the facts to prove this, but I bet you it's a very small percentage, less than 1% of whacked out parents, that would go nuts because their kids, one transgender, want to change what they are, who they are. I don't know. Maybe it's 1%, 2%, 3%, but it's not the majority. So, again, we're punishing the majority. I don't understand that. All right, there you go. There are a lot of things I don't understand. But I understand this book, and I'm going to do a little bit differently. I'm just going to do highlights of the chapter opposed to going through the chapter. This is chapter 6, which is Sight Vocabulary, the Poison of Primary Education. UNESCO's, which I believe is United Nations Education, whatever, Guide to Teaching Reading at the Primary School Level. It says, children should be able to learn sight vocabulary in context rather than in isolation. A couple of highlights from the chapter. Using the right brain to perform a left brain function causes cognitive confusion, which is viewed in the left brain as being disorganized and insufficiently active. And it is the learning of the sight vocabulary that causes this symbolic and cognitive confusion and left brain disorganization. Learning an alphabetic system is the function of the left temporal lobe, and memorizing a sight vocabulary thwarts that function. That is why that would be I, Samuel, the author, call a sight vocabulary the poison of primary education. Sight vocabulary does to the brain what the drug thalidomide, which is thalidomide, thalidomide, did to the fetus that emerged from the womb without arms. Yikes. A couple other highlights. Dolch didn't realize is that once the child began to automatically look at English printed words as whole configurations, like Chinese characters, or little pictures, the child would develop a whole world or holistic reflex or habit, which would then become a block against seeing our alphabetic words in their phonetic structure. And that blockage would cause the symptoms of what is known as dyslexia. A couple other thoughts. That learning to read involved the development of conditioned reflexes was well known by the professors of reading, especially when teaching a child to read by the sight method. In 1940, Professor Walter Dearborn of Harvard University wrote, again, this is 1940, the principle which we have used to explain the acquisition of sight vocabulary is, of course, the one suggested by Pavlov's well-known experiments on the conditioned response. This is as it should be. The basic process involved in conditioning and in learning to read is the same. In order to obtain the best results from the use of the conditioning technique, the substitute stimulus must either immediately precede or occur simultaneously with the adequate stimulus. As we have explained before, the substitute stimulus in the case of learning to read is the word seen, and the adequate stimulus is the word heard. And so, it was well understood by the professors of reading that, in learning to read, it was necessary to develop automaticity, which is a reflex. But the correct reflex to develop in learning to read an alphabetic writing system is phonetic reflex, which comes about by learning the letter sounds and being drilled sufficiently in the consonant vowel combination so the learner can see a word's phonetic structure and can automatically sound out a multisyllabic word by articulating each syllabic unit. In other words, the children automatically associates the child automatically associates the letters with sounds. When that phonetic reflex is acquired, reading becomes easy, fluent, enjoyable, and accurate. Maybe our teachers should try it sometimes. The sarcasm oozes. Okay, so that's, again, the chapter is Cite Vocabulary, The Poison of Primary Education. Great book. Thanks for watching. Try to keep these around 10 minutes. Please forward them. We do have a Venmo account. Got it. Looked in the description of today's video. Would love to have some financial support. I'm a retired teacher, and I am at a charter school, but we are on a fixed income. So we would love to have your support. Go to that Venmo account and drop $1 or $2. We'd appreciate it. All right, until next time, let's continue to understand what education is all about. Let's get some school choice going, and it's okay to disagree with each other and still love one another. Okay, have a great day.